Hi everyone, I was just told that technically not allowed to be filming out there, so I'm going to try to be discreet and be back here now for a while. Just get us, and in the background I can see witnesses go by, but I'm just not supposed to be filming them directly. So yeah, I guess. Oh well, I got a whole bunch of footage anyway, so I'm pretty happy with that. Alright guys, there's a big turnout again, and there's a lot of people. There's one guy filming us, and there's a lot of people here, so yeah, it's turning out good, and there's a ton of people reading our signs again, but I can't get up close to show you, unfortunately. And there's a lot of people leaving the event, so that's good. And oh, Nick is back with his sign. I wish I got to see that. I'm going to go around the corner and get his sign. I'm just going to be filming inward for a little bit because I'm not supposed to be technically filming the crowd. So, hey, we have Dwayne over here. Dwayne, say hey. Alrighty. So.
No, but I said
good big crowd of
it's just that
Hello,
we were
Nick.
the only two in Australia.
Protects pedophiles, destroys family, causes suicide, enforces no blood rule. Google JW Facts. That's an awesome banner right there. Awesome banner.
Whatever you want. So I knew that.
Hey, and this guy just keeps flipping his signs all over the place. I'm loving it. Report abuse to police.
He's a flipper of prophecy.
It is awesome. Every time I look, he has a different sign up.
I said that to him. How many signs has he got?
Yeah, he just got a book with that. That is a really good idea. I love that idea.
On the thing somewhere down there. I think it's behind yours. This there.
And there's one.
Right. Hello. Hello.
If you need
So
any
later,
more information.
I'm going to interview this guy.
Oh, right, yes. What's your name, by the way? Eva. Eva, nice to see you.
Nice to meet you. Glad you were here. I was wondering where you were yesterday.
Oh, right. Yeah, I was here.
Hi.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good.
Okay, so we're gonna interview this guy over here. So tell him your name.
Hello, my name is John Viney. I live in Barry in South Wales.
And I was talking to him yesterday at a cafe not far from here, and asking him how he woke up.
Quick.
No, you don't have to. I actually could live for a long time.
Well, I was for about 50 years. I was a Jehovah's Witness, just over 50 years. My wife, 60 years. About 12 years ago, because of the situation with my daughter, one of my daughters was abused when she was about 12 or 13. It went on till she was about 15 or 16. We tried to deal with it then, and certainly amongst Jehovah's Witnesses, because they have a two-witness rule, even though I went to the meetings with her, first of all we had to go and see the abuser and his wife to put it to them. That's what the Jehovah's Witness elders suggested needed doing. You have to go and put it to the person. He denied it, so then we went to the elders to act as an investigation committee. We had a meeting at the Kingdom Hall where the abuser and his wife attended. I attended with my daughter. My daughter again had to put it to him for the second time. This is what you did. He said, no, I didn't. So they had to inform us then that nothing could have only one person saying it. And that was how it was left, although I should say that because of this person's attitude and because he had done other things, in fact he had raped one of the sisters. But they said, well, raping an adult is not the same as child abuse, so we can't use those two examples as witnesses, two witnesses.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so he got this fellowship, but not because of what he did, because there was only one witness to each of those examples. But he got this fellowship because of his bad attitude. And it stayed that way for a long, long time. He became reinstated again, During the time that he was disfellowshipped, he was at workers and asked her to come into his Jaguar, took her into a lonely spot and tried to molest her. She was a non-Jehovah's Witness. That was very interesting dealing with that, because I happened to be an elder attendant at the back of the Kingdom Hall when this lady comes in crying her eyes out saying, "I want to talk to your elders." And so we took her into the back room. I got another brother, and there she revealed what this guy had done. And I thought, wow, so I know he's abused my daughter, he's also raped another sister, and now he's had a go at a lady who's a non-Jehovah's Witness simply because he's not allowed to touch Jehovah's Witnesses at the moment because he's disfellowshipped.
Good grief.
To cut a very long story short, the society did eventually agree, taken off being an elder and then disfellowshipped. His father fought the decision, and eventually we had a 7-man committee come to the Barry congregation that consisted of 2 district overseers, 1 circuit overseer and 4 special brothers, and they spent a week with the congregation, and following that they dismissed the presiding overseer. They took the father of this, and certainly the abuser was disfellowshipped. So it caused a great deal of consternation, but guess what? Myself and my family were seen as the bad ones. We've caused all this. Fancy my daughter saying that this chap has been an abuser. And so it led to a lot of ill feeling. I carried on being an elder, but my daughter eventually got disfellowshipped. Because they'd both had enough. So although they were both baptised at about 13, by 16 or 17 they were disfellowshipped. Now I've got to shun them. But I've also got to try and help them because they're suffering because of this abuse and stuff. So as a dad, I'm trying to help them, but as an elder, I've got to ignore them. And I can tell you that nearly did my head in. So for 10 years, I was trying to shun. I was spotted sometimes, my daughter, so I'd be called in by the elders and say, what are you doing? You've been seen talking to your daughters. I had to explain away what happened. And I really am going to cut to the chase now because it did go on a long, long time. Eventually, my daughter that was abused but disfellowshipped said to me, "Dad, would you walk me down the aisle?" She was getting married. I knew she'd had so many unhappy witnesses that I thought, you know what, I'm going to do it, even though I knew I might get into trouble. So I walked her down the aisle. That was on the Saturday. Sunday afternoon at the Kingdom Hall, I was invited into the back room of the Kingdom Hall, where I was asked, had I had anything to do with my daughter's wedding? Because someone had shopped me.
Wow.
I had several meetings after that with whole elders meetings. I remember going through the door of one elders meeting. As I went through the door, I burst out crying, and I didn't stop crying for an hour. I just could not stop crying. I was at the end of my tether. And eventually I had a meeting with the presiding overseer and the circuit overseer, who said to me, "John, your daughters and stay an elder." That was the suggestion. And I knew then I could not carry on. I had one of these out-of-body experiences, which sounds as if I was going mentally ill, but I'm not. It was where I actually went up into the corner of the room and I was looking down on myself. And I saw the circuit overseer, the presiding overseer and me in discussion. And when I came a few seconds later, I knew I couldn't do this anymore. So I just shook their hand and said, basically, cheerio. Or punched the air and thought, wow. And 55 years of, well, pressure just seemed to disappear. Didn't know how I was going to do, and she supported me, and although she carried on another 10 years and I supported her, she then eventually left after she saw one of the governing body TV broadcasts where the governing body brother called anyone who was saying that they were abused. The governing body said they were apostate liars. My wife said, "My daughter's not an apostate," and I'm afraid that did for her as well.
Wow.
So I've been out for about 12 years and my wife's been out about 3 years. We never had any doctrinal difficulties. We never had any other problems other than what how we were treated. So Jehovah's Witnesses themselves pushed us out, and of course since then, and I've done that there are things behind the scenes that were wrong, doctrinally wrong, prophetically wrong. And because I was an elder for nearly 30 years, I also realised I took part in some things that caused others a great deal of hurt. I'm very sorry for that. I've been to the people that I know of and have apologised. But I now sadly can't do anything about that, but I'm trying to do my best to tell people now we're at this protest at the London Excel to be careful, look after your children, try not to get shunned, and that's really my message.
Yeah, wow. Well, thank you so much for telling us that story. That was pretty intense for me to hear again, even though I've heard it already. But it's just one of those stories where you just feel just so sad what you guys had to go through. In a way, I can't relate on that level because that's just extreme, but I can relate on a small level. When my family, my brother passed away when I was 10, and he passed away because he was driving with one of his friends, a Jehovah's Witness. The witness was driving and he was drunk, and my brother died. And what ended up happening, basically the congregation got mad with my family, or started treating us coldly, because when that brother who killed my brother got this fellowship, it was like this divide happened in the congregation.
Yeah, it was your fault.
It was our fault for causing
Yeah, I know, I understand.
And then when it ended up going to court, even though it wasn't our choice for it to go to court, it just had to kill somebody. So it was the city that took them to court. So when it had to go to court, the congregation viewed it as us taking our brother to court, and they don't like that. And so we had a really hard time with that as well. So it's not even close to the same experience, but it's just one of those things where it's just so sad that the governing body, with their doctrine, they get in there, not to divide people, but they are doing it themselves.
But you know that on our Facebook sites and at meetings like this, we hear story after story after story. And when you think you've just heard the worst story possible, you can hear you talk to somebody else and they've got their own story. And so the one thing about meetups with ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, the fantastic thing is, they get it.
Yeah.
There's different scenarios, different details, different facts, but we get it. You don't have to.
That's exactly right. Okay, so thank you so much for talking
to me. All right, thank you.
Thanks guys for watching, and we'll see you later.